Hi, I'm Sarah. I've posted videos in the past on my channel, and I guess they were just there because I thought I was going to make something of this. But as you can see, I never really kept up with it. I lasted for like a couple months, maybe. Maybe not even that long. So I'm coming back, and this is mainly for me to look back on. I'm starting college in a month. I'm 18, and I'm a dental assistant, certified Ohio dental assistant. I have my radiology license, CPR, FA, all the works. I'm currently going to school for pre-hygiene and will hopefully graduate in 2022 as a hygienist with my FDA. I know a lot of people think teeth are gross. Anything in the medical field is pretty gross. I personally think anything medical is interesting, and I like to help people, so making someone smile better is just, it's something great that I get to do. I do not currently work. I was recently laid off so that I could start school. This is meant for me just to kind of watch myself throughout the years, see kind of where I go with life, and just kind of keep track, because I haven't had the easiest life. I suffer from severe depression, OCD, and anxiety, and I've suffered from that pretty much my whole life. Other things about me: I'm lactose intolerant. I've been vegetarian for 5 years. I play the saxophone. I'm a second-degree black belt. I'm kind of socially inept, so this is really hard for me. I love to travel. I like finding new places. I live in a small town, but it's way overpopulated with people. I had a graduating class of 204, so that's not very small, but it's not large either. And I am attending a very big university, which scares the crap out of me. I don't start conversations with people unless they start conversations with me. And then when they do talk to me, I kind of just ramble and talk and talk and talk and talk their ear off, and then people don't want to talk to me anymore. I don't have a plan for this channel. It might just be me talking crap about my past friendships. It might just be me rambling on when I need to talk and I don't have anyone to talk to. I've been able to make friends. It's just lasting friendship. People that will want to invite me out, and I don't have to, be the first one to text or call or be the one to make plans. That's what my main goal is with friendships, I guess. I am just hoping that I can make it through college, and this will just keep me afloat, I guess. When I was younger, I got bullied a lot, pretty much since the 3rd grade. I hit puberty at a really early age, and I was judged a lot for that. In the 3rd grade, when I was like 9 or 10, I already had acne. Like, I just got my glasses. I broke my collarbone, so I was wearing that brace when I was 9. And I started my period before I even went to middle school. So I just felt like I was sort of like outcasted, and people never wanted to invite me out or hang out with me because I was like awkward looking. I hadn't grown into my nose yet. I mean, heck, I still haven't grown into my nose. Oof. I used to get made fun of a lot, so it was really hard for me to fit in. 6th grade, my first year of middle school, was honestly one of the hardest years. I tried fitting in with people, and it just never really worked. Everyone was like, I guess everyone was really awkward at the time, but it's like that was the time when I was starting to move out of the awkward phase, and everyone else was starting to move into it. I didn't have very many friends, and I felt lonely and alone a lot of the time. My parents and I have never gone along, ever, because they just want to tell me that all of my sadness and people like talking about me was all in my head. So I never had that like family support, especially from my siblings as well. I am one of 5 children, and I am the only straight one of my siblings. I have 3 sisters and 1 brother. 2 of my siblings are lesbian, 1 is pansexual, and my brother he just doesn't identify himself, but I know he's not straight, I guess. So I'm kind of the one who's relying on to be the one who have kids. It's kind of hard. I'm also the middle child, so growing up I always got blamed for everything. The older kids would do something, they blame it on me. The younger kids would do something, they blame it on me. I was like the only kid in my house that ever got a whooping, and I always got a whooping. It was like a daily basis thing. I was always getting my butt whooped, even if I didn't do anything. I guess it made me who I am today, but it's not a good thing, I guess. I don't know. I feel like I'm at the point in my life to where like I'm stuck. I have to wait these next 4 years to go through college and then possibly start a life. I'm still a child. Let's be real. I can't even drink yet. I'm still a child. I don't have very many friends because I am not really open to new experiences because of my anxiety. Sometimes my anxiety is so crippling it causes me to get violently ill. I'll throw up all day. I'll get the shakes. It's just really bad. Sometimes my anxiety is so bad that I'll pass out. I used to have medication to control that. I would take Prozac. I would use 30 milligrams every day. And then I missed a doctor's appointment and my doctor dropped me, and I haven't been on medication for 2 years now. It was really hard in the beginning, especially trying to learn to not need to rely on that. But I was doing better because I was going to school full time and then also working, so I was able to keep my mind off of all of my insecurities and all of my OCD and everything. It just like wasn't as bad when I had something to do. When I started my first dental assisting job, which I got in April of this year, 2018, I loved it. We did everything from hygiene to implants. I got to experience every part of dentistry, but as time went forward and I got more and more in my career, I started developing horrible anxiety. My coworkers, even the coworkers had been working there for probably 2, 3, 4 years with the dentist, and I had to work for 3 different dentists. So they would get frustrated with me a lot because I was still learning, and I was straight out of high school. I mean, it was like really hard, especially when I started working full-time after I graduated. It was really hard for them because some things I was still learning and I couldn't do some things. They started losing patience with me, I guess. And so every day I would get horrible shakes, get the worst anxiety about going to work because I didn't want to get yelled at. I didn't want to disappoint anyone. And it got to the point where I was leaving work early because I would end up throwing up. It was just like every day was hard. My goal every day was to not get yelled at. Not a bad work environment. I just think they didn't want to deal with me. They knew coming in that I was young and that I was still learning and that was my first job. But after me working there for 2 months, they got fed up with the fact that I was still learning. When it came to root canals like that, that was my strongest suit. And those were the days that I would get the most anxiety about, was a day we do root canal, a day we do an osseous surgery, or a day that we do implants, because those were not things that I was knowledgeable of. Those are not things they really teach you in school, especially when you're going to a career center where you have limited time to learn everything. So I wasn't really taught that in school. I knew my time was going to come to an end, especially when school started. I knew I wouldn't be working there anymore. It's just really sad that I didn't get to finish my time there. Like, I got let go a month early. And it's like, when I got let go, I felt a relief, but I also felt an impending doom because I no longer had that steady income coming. I had to cancel all my monthly memberships, so I couldn't go to the gym anymore or anything like that, which kind of depleted my self-esteem a little bit because I wasn't able to work out anymore, and it made me feel bad about myself because I've always been on the bigger side. I was always judged for that when I was younger and everything. My sophomore year, I was 126 pounds and 5'7", so I was pretty thin. I was tall. I was a size 4. I felt energetic. I felt happy, I guess, when I was around people, but it's always been like, I'll come home at the end of the day and I don't know why, but I'll always have a heaviness on my chest. I'll walk around every day and like have tears in my eyes, and I don't know why. It's just something that I've had to deal with. 7th grade was not really bad when it came to middle school. That was my better year. I started doing sports, losing weight. I got my first boyfriend, which was really cool, but scary. I dated him for 3 years. Pretty much 7th grade year was my best year, I guess. It was just at a time when you're in between everything. You don't have to worry about anything. My classes were super easy. I've always been that nerd who, you know, gets straight A's and go through school pretty easily. 8th grade year, that was pretty okay too. I started having falling outs with my boyfriend, and then we broke up and got back together. It was stressful. 8th grade was a better year, I guess. I had a lot of friends, but the only reason I had a lot of friends was because I was kind of making myself into what I thought they would want me to be. Obviously, I didn't keep them very long because they were just friends, I guess, for convenience. 9th grade came around, the first year of high school, and a lot of people moved away. It was really sad, and a lot of them were my friends. So I went back to not having any friends. I started hanging out with the juniors and the seniors, and my boyfriend and I ended up breaking up that December of freshman year because he found another girl who was a junior, who he left me for. I was pretty heartbroken because he was my first serious, like, real boyfriend. That was, like, when my depression was at its peak again, and that was, like, when I noticed it more. My depression was super bad all through middle school, but having friends there, having distractions was really good, doing sports. We had the same group of friends, and they all chose his side over mine, and they would hang out with him and not me. Sophomore year was my good year. I did cross country and track. I was 126 pounds. I gained more confidence because I felt more confident with myself, my body, my abilities. I had gotten more friends that year, but I felt like they were just short friendships that I only had because I was impressing them. When going into track season of my sophomore year, I strained my hip muscle and was no longer able to run. I slowly started packing on the weight, and it really depleted my self-esteem again, and that was when I went to a really low spot. And also, my friends they were all distancing themselves from me because in the fall of my junior year, I would be going to the career center. I would be going to a different school, leaving them all behind. Starting my junior year, I was in the dental assisting program at my career center, and I was scared. I knew no one, and it was really hard making new friends. So luckily, I had a few people in my lab who I had classes with, and they introduced themselves to me, and they talked to me, and we became friends. But again, they weren't lasting relationships. They weren't lasting friendships. We didn't hang out. They would see me at school. We'd be friends at school. Sometimes we'd hang out outside of school, but it'd always be like me trying to hang out with them never trying to put any effort in with me. Junior year was really hard. I was doing band and show choir and working and going to a new school, and it was just very stressful. But I know at a low point in my life, pretty much all through the career center. And it wasn't because of the people, and it wasn't because of anything that was going on. It was just because of me, and I couldn't seem to form emotion. That was when I stopped my medication. I started medication in my freshman year, and I stopped my medication junior year when my doctor dropped us as patients, which made it really hard because I started feeling everything at once, and it made my depression just hit an all-time low because I felt so alone, and no one from my home school was talking to me. I didn't have any friends at my career center except for the few people that I would have to force to hang out with me pretty much. I was known as Butterface growing up because they always said I had a nice body, but I had a really ugly face. I've lived with that name for, I want to say, since the 3rd grade, and I felt more of it my junior year than any other year because these new guys from all over the state were looking at me and talking to me, but with only one thing in mind. Guys tried taking advantage of me, and I've been in really bad situations because of that. I'm a very submissive person when it comes to people telling me what to do. I have a really hard time saying no because I want to make people happy. That's gotten me into a lot of trouble, especially in the career center, because I just felt like in order to make friends, I had to do what everyone was telling me to do. I dated a couple guys. They all, again, only wanted one thing out of me, and I ended up getting my heart broken a million times. I didn't really know what I was doing, I guess. I had no friends to guide me. My parents and my siblings just kind of pushed away from me. It's kind of always been me on my own, is what it's felt like. I was still gaining weight my junior year, and people started noticing. On the daily to the weekly basis, my father would call me fat. He'd be like, "Oh, Sarah, you're getting fat. Oh, Sarah, looking kind of chubby there." And I'm like, "I'm not fat." I'd go in my room and I'd cry because I used to be 126 pounds, and now I'm like 165, and I'm not fat, but compared to then, I could see why he was saying that, because I went from a size 4 to a size almost 10, and he just made me more aware of how much weight I was gaining. I used to be a comfortable size small, and now I'm a comfortable size medium, and I didn't think that it was any big problem. I thought, I'm just growing into my natural body, but a lot of it was the fact that I stopped working out because I was going to work full time. I had band and show choir, which took my time, and I had no ability to still work out after my muscle strain because it was just really painful to run anything more than a mile. And I know I should have tried other sports, but running was my passion, and running was the only thing I wanted to do, and I never really healed correctly. so I wasn't able to do that. Going into my senior year, I started out with no friends. The few friends I had my junior year and we had a falling out because I felt like I was the only one investing any time to a friendship. So I ended up sitting at lunch alone for a couple weeks, and then people from other classes would come and sit with me and talk to me. So I ended up sitting with a whole bunch of random guys from different labs who were all friends, and then I guess we weren't all friends, but they were people to talk to at lunch, which was nice. And they also had no indication of wanting to be with me. I've always gotten along better with guys than girls. Graduating was one of the best times of my life because I got to get away from other people. I started working full-time at my job, and I was able to get away from my head a little bit. But once I got laid off from my job, it's like everything started happening one after the other. Disclaimer, my parents don't pay for anything. I've always paid for everything. I paid for my car, I paid for my insurance, I pay for all of my clothing, everything like that. That's all me. It's all been me, always. I got laid off, and my rotor brakes in my car were done for. They were like metal on metal. So I ended up having to get new ones of those, which is like a good amount of money, and it just really sucked because I had only had $1,300 saved from all my working, and my insurance is $700 every half year. It's just like one thing after the other, and I think this is the lowest I've been since the beginning of my senior year, when my friends and I had a falling out and I was so lonely. I feel like I have no purpose, and it's hard. I don't want to get up every day. I can't sleep. I'll try to work out and do stuff to make me sleep, and I'll get 4 hours, and then I'll have vivid dreams for another 2 hours. Or I won't be able to sleep at all, and I'll stay up till after the sun rises, and then I'll fall asleep for 2 hours. Vivid dream for another 2 hours. I'm looking into getting back on my medication, which hopefully should help, but mainly the medication does is it numbs me, so it makes it easier to ignore everything that's going on around me. It makes it easier for me to work on myself. It gives me a little bit more motivation instead of me being lethargic and sad all the time. Sorry for the spiel, but I wanted to introduce myself and talk about my story, I guess. It was kind of all over the place, and I'm so sorry. I'll try and get better at this. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.